hold my beer while mama tells you about angel numbers because they are not 1111 and 222. It's bigger. It's specific to you. All right, so let's talk about angel numbers. There's a lot of misinformation online, and also it can be just really confusing, overwhelming, stressful, annoying. I think annoying is probably the number one thing that people feel, is that it's really annoying to just be haunted by angel numbers all day long. I know I struggle with that in the beginning, especially when I was awakening, or like when I lost hope, or I just wanted to move on with my life and I'd get haunted by angel numbers. So what I'm talking about is the different phases, actually, the stages of angel numbers that you're going to find, especially if you're twin flame. And I really am going to break down and knock out some myths. And then the term twin flame is being thrown around like confetti, and it's trending in like tarot readings and stuff like that. What I want to do in this video, or what I am going to do in this video, is lay down some real truths specific to twin flames and debunk the 1111, 222, all that nonsense that people throw out there. So just because you met somebody on November 11th or on February 22nd doesn't not mean that they're your freaking twin flame. That is not how this works. It's actually way crazier than that. Even though you might think that's crazy, it's way crazier. And so if you wait till the end, I'll share with you my own personal journey with my own personal angel numbers, which are crazy, just so bonkers that I'm still laugh about it because I just can't even believe it. So I'm going to go over 5 different things at least. So we're going to talk about what are angel numbers in general, what the meaning of all the different ones: 111, 222, 1111, 333, 444, 555, 666, 777, 888, 999, 1212, 1234. I'm going to lay down the law on all that stuff. We're also going to talk about mirror numbers, which is what 1221 is, and things like that. And more specifically, I'll share with you a little secret of what that means for you with your whole union journey. We're also going to talk about what do you do when you see these angel numbers? Like, what is the freaking point? Why are you being haunted by them? Like I said, at the end, I'm going to share twin flame specific numbers, what they mean, and what specifically twin flames need to do when they see these numbers. And actually there's a couple different specific ones, but more importantly, at the very end, I'm going to share with you how you can get your own specific twin flame numbers. So you can stop worrying if you see 222 or 333. You'll know, first of all, you're going to know what that means by the end of this video, but also more important, you're going to be able to navigate this with so much more joy because it's been annoying. Hi, welcome. I'm Hope. I've been on this journey for 30 years. I've known my counterpart for 30 years. And I can just tell you that this has been a wild freaking ride. I did not even know the term twin flame until I actually got it in a download. I did not find it through a psychic or a tarot reader or any of that nonsense online. I actually got it in a meditative state, and actually it was kind of a fleeting thing. But immediately I knew who it was, and immediately I knew what it meant. And so I do have a video on my channel about that journey if you're curious, and I'll link to it in the end if I remember. With the spiritual and tarot community talking about twin flames more and more, a great many people struggle to move on and heal from unhealthy relationships because they believe they're in a twin flame connection. Like, this is much more rare of a dynamic than it's been thrown around, like I said, like confetti. And so the culprit is that people are told that they will see 1111 and 222, and therefore that's your twin flame. And I can tell you for sure 100% that is not true. So the generic numbers, all angel numbers, they happen when you're going through a spiritual awakening. That's specifically when they come up. Okay, so everyone that gets awakened in this life, anyone can awaken in their life if they're doing their soul work through their own growing and healing and stuff. And when people see them and they realize, it's really what the movie The Matrix was based on. Once people awaken to realize that the real world is not the real world, that's when you start getting haunted by all the angel numbers: 111, 222, 333, 444. You might see some more than others, and I definitely found that was true. What I found for me was that I saw certain ones at different phases, and that's why I want to talk about those phases in this journey. So like I said, I didn't get fully awakened, even though I've known my twin flame and I've had a wild ride that I couldn't explain, and I knew it was different, and I knew it was a whole thing. I knew it was a spiritual connection. I had it all inside of me already, and I already knew all that. I already journaled all the stuff about energy, even though in the 90s, nobody was talking about energy. Nobody was talking about any of this stuff. There was no internet. There was none of that in the 90s when I met my person. So anyway, what happened was it wasn't until I actually went through the actual spiritual awakening, a full spiritual awakening, and it was all divinely timed. I definitely see why it happened when it happened. So anyway, I didn't get all the angel numbers until then. So and the other thing I want to give, because everyone says 1111 is a twin flame number because they think it means union and they think it means mirroring, and that's not true. That has definitely not been my experience. And part of the reason I can say that so strongly is we did not have Google, we did not have all the blogs, and we did not have all the people spouting this nonsense online in the 90s. In the 90s, the only time, like when I was a kid and growing up, the only thing we ever said about 1111 back then, like I remember in high school, this happened a lot in high school. We said 1111, make a wish. But we did that when we'd cross a railroad track in a car. Back then cars had visible screws in the interior. We'd put our finger on a screw, lift our feet in a car, and make a wish as we crossed railroad tracks. I don't know where the heck that came from, but it's just one of those things that we just did a lot as kids, as teenagers. And 1111 was one of those. So I only ever remember that being a thing in high school. By college, by the time I met my twin flame, I don't remember anybody doing that. Like maybe it was a regional thing where I grew up or something. And I only even remembered even doing that once I started reading all the dogma online about twin flames and these angel numbers. And I kept rolling my eyes like, that's not what happened with me, you know? And not to say that I am the all-knowing expert by any stretch of the imagination. We all have our own journey through this, but I just really want to debunk that biggest myth right away, because there's so many people out there being misled, thinking that they are a twin flame because they're seeing 717 or 1111, or I mean, you go to these videos and they literally make it sound like any number is a twin flame number, and that's not the way it goes. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how you can get your own, and you'll know definitively that is your angel number. Okay, I'm going to do a real quick rundown of what those numbers mean though. So if you're seeing all these and you've been awakened, like I got awakened in, 2019, a lot of people are awakening in 2020. That's kind of, in my view of the pandemic, is that it was meant for a lot of us to awaken, because we're kind of behind the, and I'm proof of that, 30 years of this, and I'm finally getting awakened to what my twin flame journey is actually all about. What I would say about that is, we all get awakened in due time, okay? When you get awakened, you're going to start seeing these numbers, but the numbers do actually have meaning. So the 1111, the 111, the 222, the 333, the 44, all those numbers actually do have meaning. They are a little bit of a trajectory, so you can kind of gauge where you are in the journey. So for example, the number 9 is completion. If you look back over, and you can watch a numerologist or an astrologer talk about this, but like when you take a year and you distill it down to a number and you get the number 9, that number 9 is completion. So when I looked back, when I learned about this, because I looked into these numbers as I was going through my ascension, because they were driving me nuts, I found out the year of 9 is a completion, and I looked at the number of the year number where it condensed down to a 9, and oh my gosh, I had quit my job in one of those. I was starting to quit my business in one of those. Like there were different things that I definitely saw huge parts of my life completing in a 9 year. So when you see 999, that's great. Double high five to you, because that means you're close to the end of your like awakening journey, and that's a phase. This little, it's part of it's a dark night of the soul, but so 9s are completion. Another thing I see a lot is 4, and that's stability and foundations. Okay, so if tarot cards, if you see like a 4, it means that you're building a new foundation. You're at the beginning stage. Tarot cards go through 1 to 10 also. So a number 1 is just an opportunity. It's just the beginning. If you've seen the movie Dune, the newest Dune 2022, Zendaya at the very last scene, I just love it. It's like, it really like that whole movie got me. I love it. But at the end, she says, she turns to him and she says, this is only the beginning. And they cut the movie there. It was that's how I feel about finding out you're a twin flame. Buckle up. This is only the beginning. So number 1s are beginnings. 4s are new foundations. So if you're seeing 444, 414, something like that, if that number is haunting you, it means you're building a solid foundation. Or if you think it's a message for you, where are you being other people's foundations. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? So, for example, my dad, I want to tell you this story just because I think it's really going to help with other parts of your twin flame journey. When I got awakened in 2019, I mean, again, I've been on this journey for 30 years and I was already doing all the healing. I was doing all the stuff. I just didn't have a word for it. I didn't have the dogma online. I didn't have all this stuff, right? So in 2019, when I got awoken, officially went through my spiritual awakening, I did get all that stuff and I went in deeper. And then so I went into like soul group stuff and I went into ancestral healing and traumas and all of that kind of stuff. I went real deep into like clearing out bloodlines things. And I'm going to do another video about all the crap I cleaned up. And one of the things that happened, I mean, obviously my twin flame is still not talking to me. I mean, we cursory talk to each other through social media or something, but it's not a day-to-day connection. And that's fine, whatever. That's the phase we're in right now. So, but anyway, what happened was I was really like asking my angels. I'm like, I want to know that this is working, that it's not just this esoteric knowledge that's silly, that, I've always been a very science-minded person. And, I want to know that it works. I want proof. I want real world proof. So, and again, I'll do a different video on all the different ways that I got real world proof when I asked for it. But one of the things is that my dad got an angel number and I was shocked. I was like, what? And it's funny because I don't ever see his stuff on Facebook. I never go on Facebook anymore anyway. But I happened to get on Facebook and I just happened to see one of his posts, and he's on Facebook all day, but he doesn't post a lot. He's one of those guys that stalks everything and reads it all and wastes too much time on there. But anyway, he actually made a post that he's like, hey, what's with this number following me around? He noticed he had an angel number, but he had no concept of what it was or anything. So it was really cool because I got to be the one to tell him what it was. I was like, oh, that's an angel number. And so I got to I used light words. I didn't want to scare him away. But I told him what it meant, and I looked it up for him because I knew he probably would never do it. And 414 is his number, and it was all about being a good parent, building a solid foundation for your family, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go through all the numbers. 2s are partnerships. Usually they're making a choice also. 3s are mind, body, spirit connection. So for example, lately I've been seeing 333 a lot, and that is mind, body, soul. So your soul and your mind and your body are all balanced. And that is really very important for all of us. We all have to get each one of those pillars. So 3 is mind, body, and soul. Okay, so if you're seeing it a lot and it's driving you nuts, when you see any angel number and it's driving you crazy and you're getting pissed off about it, that's your clue to look at what does that number mean? What does the number 3 mean, really? And go in and work on it. So if I see 333 all the time and it angers me, then I know that one of these pillars in my life is off. Is not the same as the other 2 pillars. So is it my mind? Am I letting my ego rule? Or is it my body? Am I not working out, eating right? Am I eating junk, blah, blah, blah? Or is it my soul? Do I need to do some soul works? Do I need to do some meditations and some energetic clearing and go to Reiki or learn Reiki or all that kind of stuff? Mind, body, spirit. So if you're getting haunted by it and it's annoying you, my opinion on that is that it's something you need to look into and work on. If it's just a reassurance, like you get to a point where you see so many of these angel numbers and you're doing your work and you're taking care of yourself and you're listening to what your higher self is telling you to do and you feel fine about it, it comes to a point where all these angel numbers end up being just a wink and a nod. Like, it's like, oh, hey, I see you. Yep, I see you too. It's like a message from your angels, from your guide team, from your higher self, that you're on the right track, that they're paying attention, that they're still around, they're still helping you, and it's funny because these numbers were around all the time. Before my spiritual awakening, they were still there. I just found a receipt from 2017, 18, 19, like it was before my awakening. I just found a receipt And it was like the item number was 333, and the total was my personal angel number, which I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. Anyway, when you're going through a regular spiritual awakening, that's the regular angel numbers, okay? And so one of the reasons I pulled out this Four of Cups is because it's just a reassurance that, you know, you're not going to feel like you're crushing your life and that your life's amazing. But there are reminders that your guide team is around you. You have all of your angels with you. You're transitioning, you're growing, you're doing the work. They've got your back. Money's going to flow to you, even though you don't know where it's coming from. It's that. So there's actually a scene in the first Avatar movie where he gets, not to get derailed, but I love movies, and that's how my soul speaks to me, is through movies. And I watched it fairly recently, and this card just really jumped out at me, this version of this card, this Four of Cups in this Gregory Scott tarot deck. Because the soldier guy gets into an avatar and he gets lost in the woods and it's nighttime and he's fighting with these animals and like on the defense and whatever. But then this girl comes to help him through it and realize, don't fight with those animals. You're in their ecosystem and you're messing it up. And so she shows him like let your guard down, put your weapon down, be in the flow. And that's when all these light beings came out and illuminated their path in the dark. You know, before that, he was cold and dark. And this is what the dark night of the soul is. And that's why when you go through the dark night of the soul, you're going to see a ton of angel numbers. But they should be reassuring, okay? That's what they should be. The other version of angel numbers, which I hinted at or I talked about in the very beginning of this video, is mirror numbers, okay? So what are mirror numbers? Mirror numbers are like saying 1, 2, 2, 1. Things that are repeating like that, okay? Even 22, 22 could be a mirror number, something like that. I only saw those numbers when I first got the download with the term twin flame. I only saw them for like 2 or 3 months. And that was when I was diving in deep, you know, when you first get the term and you're like, oh my gosh, this explains everything. What? That's how I felt. I was like, I'd already been dealing with this for 20 something years, but I finally had a term for it and it blew open everything for me. I was going through all of that phase of like, oh my gosh, there's a whole point to this thing. I am a twin flame and blah, blah, blah. There's a word for this. Other people are going through this situation, which I've been around a lot of relationships. I've been in with people in their, like I've helped people through their relationships and I've never heard of anybody having anything even close to what I've had go on. And so it was very lonely until I got the term twin flame. So anyway, I only saw the mirror numbers when I first was going through my twin flame specific awakening, okay? If you see mirror numbers in a different way, I'd love to hear it below in the comments. Like for example, I have a twin flame friend of mine that, you know, we help each other when we're having good or bad days. You know, you need the cheerleader and you need somebody to talk you off the ledge, right? So her mirror number is 818. And when you look at her twin's birthday and her birthday, she's a 3 and he's a 5. So for her, every time she has a breakthrough with a union, like a reunion or some sort of a breakthrough, she starts seeing 818, okay? So that gets me to the last bit of this video of twin flame specific numbers. So again, there's a myth out there that 1111 and 222, that's all false. All of that's false. Those are not angel numbers. For twin flames, those are just angel numbers for anybody, okay? So that if that's what you're basing your whole thing on, don't get mad at me, but that's just, that does not mean that you're a twin flame. And you know what, if you're not, good for you, because this has been hard. It's a really difficult journey, and the fact that people are looking for it makes me laugh, because they just clearly don't get it. They don't get the whole point of this journey. It's so painful to not be with the one person you love the most in the whole world. Okay, so anyway, twin flame specific numbers. Like I said, my friend, she's got 3 in her birthday, and he's got 5, and so 3 and 5 is 8, and so she realized, like, she was getting haunted by 818, 818, 818, and it was about to be August, and so she thought, oh, maybe it means August 18th. Something's going to happen. But what we found through working it out with her and another guy and some other people that I know that are twin flames. We didn't actually, nothing really happened on that day that we know of. Maybe something on her twin side did, but that wasn't. So your angels are probably not going to give you any sense of timing, because time is not linear for them. They don't really care about March 5th. They don't really care about that stuff like we do. We're very impatient as humans. The divine timing, when you get to see it from a different angle, it makes more sense of why things take freaking forever. Like I get mad still to this day that why have I been dealing with this for 30 years? That's insane. It's so lame. And then I see other people and they're, be able to work through things in 2-3 years. I'll make a separate video about that because I've had to work through it. I've had to learn the reason for that and all of it. But really, when you think about it, it's interesting. So regular angel numbers are for awakening, and then twin flame specific are going to be specific to you and your person. Okay, they're not going to be some generic thing like 222 that you can see all the time because it's twice on a clock. It's going to be twice a day on a clock. Okay, so it's not going to be something so obvious like that other people have. It's definitely going to be more specific to you. Okay, so and I just really want to finish real quick. So nothing really happened on August 18th that day, but what we did instead, because she was like starting to spiral a little bit, is we ended up getting the three of us together and we meditated for like over an hour together about union. Like we had each other's photos, we have each other's photos of each other's twin flames, and we like sat down as a group and meditated on that day. Just picturing union, picturing talking to our twin flames, just the general, just general connection stuff, helping heal each other. And I find that very powerful. So if you are making friends online, first be discerning, because a lot of people are just spouting a lot of nonsense. So use your gut, use your intuition, and just remember that twin flames are extremely rare. So if you're watching a YouTube video and it's 300,000 views, they're probably not talking to real twin flames. The real twin flames online have like 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers. They're really laying down laws like this, like more specific stuff. There's a lot of people just catching, going out fishing and catching like normal people. So anyway, so 818, that's specific to her. 515, 313, those are the ones she sees all the time, okay? For me, you won't even believe it. I'm not going to share my actual twin flame number because it's personal and I don't want the energy of like random people to infiltrate it. But what I'm going to say is I bought my house in 2003. And like I said, I went through my awakening in 2019. So I've lived in this house, what was that, 18 years or something? I've lived in this house and I'm going on my 20th year of living in this house. And it was not a neighborhood I was really looking at, but it was just this whole thing, whatever. Once I'm able to share my full story more, maybe I'll share the real deal of all this. But anyway, it's insane that I never noticed until I was going through my spiritual awakening that my freaking twin flame's birthday is in my zip code. And it gets crazier than that. And this is why I wanted to make this video, because it's like, hold my beer while mama tells you about angel numbers. Because they are not 1111 and 222. It's bigger. It's specific to you. I've always known when his birthday was, and every year for these 30 years, I send him love on his birthday. Way before I knew we had the term twin flame, all through the years that I thought he hated me, all through the years that I thought it was just one-sided, all through the drama, all through it, I always send him love on his birthday, just like wink and a nod, happy birthday to you, because he's my favorite person and I wish him well. So to find out 18 years after living here, and that really, the reason I laugh about this is because I run my business from my house and I ship things out constantly and I write my address constantly. Like nowadays, you guys do everything through the phone or through the internet, like, things are pre-filled out for you. But I've had to like write my address 12 trillion times. I've had to tell my address. I've had to type it into software and bookkeeping and all these things for all these years, especially like way back in 2003 when the internet was still in its infancy. So just think about how funny it was when I was standing in the freaking post office mailing something for my business and I looked down and that's when I finally noticed that his birthday's in my zip code. How dumb do you have to be? Like, I can't believe I never noticed it. And then last year or the year before, I'm paying taxes. I'm downloading all the forms for all the things, getting my taxes ready for my accountant, doing all the stuff. And oh my gosh, I realized that his birthday is in every account number for all of my bills for my house. My electricity account number, my water bill, my internet, all of them. What? Like, okay, great. Granted, that's a little less divine intervention because there's like 32 numbers and all those silly things. But still, how crazy is that? So this is where my guides have probably been up there like drinking their beer and laughing at me like, oh my gosh, how much more do we need to hit her over the head with this, right? So your angel, but my point with telling you this is not to make fun of myself, even though like you just have compassion for yourself. It's not easy. Your angel just can't really interfere with free will. And you're not going to figure this out until it's time. So, cut yourself some slack. I see why I didn't get fully activated until year 26. I get it now. I totally get it. And I went back and read my journals and I knew I had all this stuff. I had all the dogma in my journals from 25, 30 years ago. I just didn't have a term for it. And I didn't know anyone else had ever gone through anything like this. But it is funny that I never noticed his freaking birthday is in my freaking zip code. I mean, how silly is that? So it should be very personal to you is the whole point of this video. It's not just this generic 222 nonsense that everybody likes to spout. 717 means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me. And I got in kind of a little bit of, not a fight, but I kind of was like calling somebody out on a Facebook group, which I just can't hang out in those groups because there's no twin flames in those Facebook groups. Not really. There's not many. And they're not commenting and we don't last long because it's just like, it's a lot of low vibe, stuff, a lot of karmic relationships people just don't realize, or other soul connections maybe, but even that, I don't know. So anyway, it should be specific. So what do you do when this happens? Or more importantly, what I really want you to get out of this video is how you have to realize that you have free will. And your angels, when you see angel numbers, are trying to talk to you. So if you want them to talk to you more bluntly, you, having free will, have to ask for what you want. It's very similar to any relationship. If you want something, you have to actually ask for what you want, which is very hard if you don't know what you want. I get it. I've been there. I've had to figure this stuff out myself, and it's scary and intimidating and blah, blah, blah. But you have to ask for what you want. So I told my guides that I will only see my twin flame's birthday 3 times in a row in a day, or 3 times in a day, is all I need. Once, I'm going to just count it as coincidence. 3 times, they're talking to me, okay? And what I told them was that then that means, and I told them what it means for me. So now they know to show me that number, and this is what I'm going to interpret, end of story. Every once in a while, they'll break that, but it's very rare. So when they show me his birthday 3 times in a day, that means that he has something he needs from me. Because if you're the one that's awakened first, if you think you're the divine feminine, which again, you are actually both. I don't like the dogma online about twin flame stuff. But if you think you're the one that's awakened first, and you think you're the spiritual twin, and you think you're the divine feminine, all that kind of stuff, then you are leading the charge on the healing energy. So that's why I was going through my ancestral stuff. I was going through my lineages, his lineages, between the two, from what I know about him. On my mom's side, my dad's side, I was doing all that work. So if they show me his birthday 3 times in a day, I know that our connection needs healing. That means I have action, okay? My action during my dark night of the soul, during my awakening, which is going on 3 years or so, 4 years now, that action is I need to tap in to source and clean something up. So either he's having a problem that he needs help with, like maybe he's having anger towards me because I'm ruining all his relationships or something like that. I don't even know. It's not my business to know, honestly. Hopefully one day I'll get to find out, because now all I want to do is freaking compare notes on what this has been like for him. But otherwise, you got to just take charge and tell your angels what these things mean to you, okay? If you get haunted by it, like sometimes I'll literally get haunted by it. Like, oh my gosh, like every car license plate has his birthday, plus all the phone numbers that call me that day, plus all the whatever. Sometimes just check your thoughts and where you think things are. Are you sending that person hate? Are you judging your twin flame? Are you calling them the runner? Are you blah, blah, blah? Telling people online that they're unawakened? You don't know if they're awakened or not unless you're talking to them. And even then, you probably don't know. So stop judging your twin flame if you're doing that. But if you're seeing it and it's haunting you, check your own thoughts on your union and on your twin flame, okay? The other thing that you can do is you can Again, you can just go and ask for clarity. So I have a video on 7 things to do and 7 things not to do in this connection. And one of the 7 things to do is to get a more clear way to talk to your guides than angel numbers, okay? Like I use a pendulum. I don't know where it is, but it's around here somewhere. But I have a video on that. And eventually I'll make a video and you can go and like pay $5 or $10 and download it. And it'll show you I'll show you how to use it and how to ask the right questions, because asking the right questions is the hardest part about reading tarot, and about just asking like good questions your guides can actually answer. Because all we ever want to know is when's union? Well, they're not going to tell you, first of all, because you're stealing all the magic out of it. And then also when is irrelevant to them, because in their mind, it's already happened. Time is irrelevant when you get off of Earth. So I hope this helps you figure out what angel numbers are, what's the meaning of all the generic ones, 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. 555, fives are changed, by the way. So there's just different meanings for each number. So just distill it down to one number and then go look up generic numerology stuff. Mirror numbers only happened when I was going through my actual awakening as a twin flame, like learning about being a twin flame for like 3 months. And it was just to reiterate that yes, I am a twin soul. That's all I ever got from that, and I don't see them anymore. Sometimes I'll see 12, 21, but that's very rare. So when you see angel numbers, you want to check your own thoughts first. Maybe there's a song on the radio and you need to listen to lyrics, whatever. But it's usually like check your thoughts is the first thing. But if you're being haunted by them, don't forget to see it as a magical thing. That your guides are just telling you that they're patting you on the back. They're leading your way. If you see a lot of them, they're trying to communicate with you and you're not getting it. So that's where you need to get a very specific personal connection to your guides. There's actually a woman named Melissa Kiddo, and she's talktoyourangels.com or something. And she teaches literally like how to talk to your guides and your angels. But get your own divination thing. Don't leave it up to us tarot readers to tell you what's going on. You need to get your own connection, especially if you're twin flame, because you are... I don't like using the word advanced because it makes it sound like we're better, but we're not. We're definitely not better. I would much rather have had a regular person's life in this life, but we're more advanced souls. We've been through all the normal stuff already, so we signed up for this. So it's just different. So you got to be very discerning, and hopefully you are. And then twin flame specific numbers, you can ask for a number. If you don't have one, ask for one. Just say, I'm only ever going to take this number as my twin flame number, and make it something unique to you. Make it something generic. I mean, again, every twin flame I've actually met that's a real twin flame, they have something that's personal to their person. All right, I'll share one more thing, even though I'm just as a bonus, because you've actually stuck out all my ranting. I'll share you something else that's very personal, which one of the first things, this is way before my awakening, one of the first angel, it wasn't an angel number, but one of the first, it was actually a huge trigger. But I was in a weak point in my life, and I was like, why is everyone married but me, and woe is me, and blah, 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 and I was drinking too much, and I was like Facebook stalking his wife, because she posts more photos of their life than he does, so I was just kind of like seeing, oh, how's he doing, more checking in than like destructive stalking, but it wasn't healthy, and I don't drink and stalk social media anymore. And I have a video on how I handle social media that you can check out after this one. But anyway, I found out that his wife and I have the same birthday. And so this happened before I got the term twin flame. This happened back when I still thought it was a one-sided connection. I still thought he hated me. I still was in that phase of the journey, that stage of my twin flame journey. I still thought it was just, I was a failure because I couldn't figure out how to get married, and everyone else is married, and oh, he's happy, and why can't I be happy, and blah, blah, blah. All the things, you hear it in my phrasing, all the things that, guess what? I had to heal, right? I had to heal all of that. And I can tell you that finding out that his wife and I have the same exact birthday, there is no bigger trigger for me, because I always, for my whole life, have said the only real holiday is a birthday, which is one of the reasons I've always sent my twin love on his birthday. I just remember people's birthday, and I think Valentine's Day is stupid. I think all other holidays are stupid and made up by like greeting card companies and consumerism, and they don't mean anything. If you love somebody, you can show them every day. You don't need a day in February after Christmas when the companies need money. You don't need any of that. You can show them every day that you love them. So there was no bigger trigger for me personally than finding out his freaking wife had my birthday. It was one of those things like that's when I stopped stalking her, or like, you know, stalking's a strong word. I wasn't really stalking her, but that's when I stopped. I made sure I don't look at her stuff anymore, because I wish I could have unlearned that information. So, you know, word of warning, be careful. Be careful what you wish for, what you go looking for, because you just may find it. And guess what? It was something I had to heal. But I also look back over it now, realizing it was very important for me to find that out, because if we ever got into union or some sort of a proper reunion, well, it was going to have to get triggered then, when I would eventually probably find that out anyway, right? So now I've dealt with it. Now I've healed it. Now now I know that it's not just about the birthday. It's also like the rest of the astrology chart. And it also, the other thing that did for me, though, I will say, one of the biggest benefit I got out of it, once I got over the victim mentality of it all, the woe is me aspect, the biggest thing I got out of it actually was in that in that stage of my twin flame journey. What it really did was it finally cracked my view and my like loops that I was in and my version of things. It cracked it just a little bit, and it made me think, oh, maybe he loves me as much as as I love him. Maybe I mean more to him than I thought, because maybe she reminded him of me. All those little thoughts started to seep in and permeate, and I can tell you, it was actually, even though it sucked, and I still wish I didn't know that, but this is what I'm talking about with angel numbers. They should be specific, okay? So, you know, he's probably found out that we have the same birthday. If he didn't know when my birthday was, he might have. I don't know. Another twin flame I was talking about earlier that I talked to, her twin flame got married on her birthday. So these angel numbers are specific, and they're so much bigger if you're a twin flame than the norm, okay? So that's the whole point of the whole video. I hope that this helped. Please leave me a comment below and let me know how you feel about this. If you have your own personal angel number, if anything, just empower yourself and ask your guides to be more specific, okay? Don't just take the dogma online of 11-11-222. That's the main thing I wanted to get out across this. But also, it's bigger, it's deeper, and literally, like, hold my beer while I tell you about all the different ways that it's more specific than those generic numbers. I just can't even believe that my zip code is his birthday, right? It's nuts. Definitely leave me a comment, and I will link to that awakening video and my journey and how I got the term. And if you're not interested in that one, then go check out my social media one on how I handle social media with my twin flame, because I figured out like a healthy balance there now. So, okay. All right. Take it easy. You've got this. Just follow your own intuition and your own gut, because you have your own union plan inside of you. You don't need a guru to help you with it. You need to go and do the work and get inside and talk to your own guides and figure it out for yourself, and then share it with people like me, because I want to hear it. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye.